very abrupt. I can't get used to that abrupt ending. I'll have to fade.
Fades out now.
Yes. Hello, everybody. Excuse me. It's Monday night. I forgot what. Is it episode 20? 21?
18. 19.
19. Welcome to the podcast.
Episode a lot.
Miscellaneous episode. So tonight we're talking about it's a painting clinic, but with more of a bent towards hobby accessories, if that's the right way to describe it. Or techniques or anything really. It's just an excuse to have a bit of a chat about paints and super glue.
Wet palettes are going to get bought up, aren't they?
What? Yeah. Yes. What is that a controversial subject, Ken? Is that controversy?
I think you're bringing controversialness into it already, Steve.
With what?
Controversies.
We all know who doesn't like using a wet palette, or who loves using a wet. Yeah. I'll Sorry, Steve. I'm taking over here.
No, I've never used one. So yeah, welcome to Monday's Plastic Crack Podcast. And for those of us lucky enough to be working a 3-day week this week, it's going to be rather nice.
Lovely jubbly.
Martin, by the scowl on your face, that I take it you're not working a 3-day week?
Well, no, I am working a 3-day week, and then the other days will be looking after children. So there would not be. Actually, no, that's not true. I'm getting a big game on Friday, but not one for a battle report. We're having a huge game of black powder because we've somehow managed to palm the children off on my in-laws.
Nice. Good way of spending a bank holiday Friday. Time for some introductions anyway. Up there, Martin. My fault. Oh yes, definitely Martin's fault. Always Martin's fault.
Always.
Up there,
over there. So many things.
Over there, we still haven't amended Ken's name, and he's still the fiddler.
Yeah, please can you change that? To be fair, I went to a train exhibition on the weekend.
You are a fiddler then,
and dragged Laura along with me. And I'm actually building my fiddle yard at the moment.
It's happening, folks. You heard it here first.
Mrs.
Yes. Yeah, and for some reason, I've got Laura's payslip in front of me. Okay.
Because you check and see if you could afford the fiddle yard.
To my that way is Mr. Project King himself, Dom from Boots on the Table.
Good evening.
I didn't know that I had weird shit under my name.
Yeah, I know the bastards, didn't they? They're just.
I had nothing to do with this one. It's that Dom had it.
Yeah, I did it.
He's gonna. We've only had you've been doing them for 2.5 years, and now we've got the template. So now we get to do it as well.
Why I sent you that, I have no idea.
Because you weren't updating it.
Yeah, because you never updated it, and whenever we had people on, we had some weird name to them because we can't put another name to
them. Before we go on, just a massive thank you to everyone that's watching this on the replay.
Bosh.
4 minutes past 8, and it's already done. Fantastic. There we go. And I've not even got my prepared notes in front of me. There we go. Let's have a quick scoot through to see who we've got in. We've got Crossing Obstacles Gaming, Harpham, Mark's Forsyth. Is it Monday already? Yes, Mark. It's hard to believe, but it's Monday already. Lionheart, Granaprego, Simon's here. Leslie, bonsoir to you all. Enemy in Sight, David Baker, Matt Wright, Hammond Jam, Andrew JF, Lazy Pirate Painting, Steve Harbour, who is painting some 10mm AWI tonight.
Oh my goodness.
We got John all the way from New Mexico.
Oh, hello.
Good evening,
John.
That's States, isn't it?
If you're not in the Facebook group, there's a map in there. Join there and put in the comments where you're from. I was reading through that today. We're definitely an international podcast now, aren't we?
Oh, wow.
Some of the countries are absolutely fantastic.
Did you see last week? Someone said they were listening to us in Greenland.
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 I didn't see that.
Yeah, Greenland.
Blimey.
Wow.
I think we're reaching all corners of the globe these days. Friends of General Haig, Louis Baby, Digger Down Under Wargaming, 5 a.m.
Oh,
That is dedication there.
That is absolutely dedication. Alex from Storm of Steel. Hello, Alex. Carazette, Sam Ferguson, who is working on a Dead Man's Hand gang tonight.
Oh,
very nice.
Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff.
Plastics or metals? Plastics or metals?
Oh, yes, the plastics. I finally got my my plastics, the Gunfighters 2, so I'll be building them soon. Thanks, Royal Mail, for losing the first one. Thanks for that.
You have so much fun with Royal Mail, don't you?
Oh, do you know what they did? They got it right twice in a week, and the third one they fell over. What are you going to do? Philip Hyman's here. We have Mike Jones, Gary Phillips, Paul Crouch, Yorkshire Gamers here. Hello, Ken.
Hello.
Ken's going to have a couple of guests on soon, isn't he, Martin?
He is. They're gonna set the tail right, aren't they?
Yes.
Write that record. We got some
rewrite history again.
Tell all exclusives.
Oh God, yeah. I'm surprised we haven't been made to sign NDAs or something. It's getting NDA, that professional around here. It really is.
NDAs, or as we call it, the yoke of oppression.
The yoke of
I have to change your default title to What Tyler or something. We got P. Neal, we got Rich M, Evil Jim Reapers here. Hello, Jim. Allard, Baseman 1908. Felix's Figures. Hello, Felix. Red Steph, Old School FRP. Benjamin, Yorkshire Dragoon. Hello, Tim. Simon Stokes. I said Bald Beagle and Bad Beagle from Washington, D.C. Jonas is here. Hello, Jonas. Graham's Wargames Vault. Nick Games, Shakos and Sprues. John Carter. So that Miller's here. Colin. Robin is here as well. Oh, God. Jumped. Battle Matt. Andy. Brady's here. Oh, God. Oh, it's Metal Lawman Gang from the first starter set. There we go.
Oh, good. The metal ones are the best. I love them.
Cleared that one up. Bob Roberts. What's the? I remember the first PCP set I saw. Dom was mercilessly mocking Ken for wearing his novelty historical jumper. Oh, how the tides have turned. Looking swish, Dom.
This is just to mock our friend Martin because he so loves the little green bastards.
I love them. They're coming. The reenactment group are coming to a place near me again soon, to an Anglo-Saxon village of all places. So, like straight again, Hayley was like, "Do you want to go?" No. I
thought she was going to get you signed up for to be a member for a while.
Front and centre, right there. We've got Adrian, Duncan FX. He's catching us live for the first time in a while. Hope you're very well, Duncan.
Yeah, nice to see you back, Duncan.
Yeah,
and here's the question we've all been waiting. Oh, Hung and Dung's waiting to waiting to ask.
Who? Oh well.
Well, Hung and Dung. I assume you're all buying. That sounds like the worst cleaning company ever. I assume you're all buying Horus Heresy to sell it on eBay.
Hey, Horus Heresy.
The new box that came out, the new starter GW Heresy stuff. We did a whole thing about it, Ken, like 2 weeks ago.
Well, I wasn't here, was I?
Yes, you were. We talked about it. There's a new Horus Heresy starter set.
Is it honest to God?
It's all weird shit, so don't worry.
Yeah.
No, I like Horus Heresy.
Because the question we were asking was, is it going to be a rule set by itself, or is it going to be a continuation of the Forge World rules?
That is actually an interesting question.
Because Martin posted that picture of that Imperial fist with the big plume thing on his helmet.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh, that. Yeah. The bullshit. Yeah, the one that I didn't like. Yeah. Oh yeah, the one. Oh, that one. Yeah, now
that one.
Yeah, that's why. See, look, I suppressed it to the back of my brain because it just makes me angry thinking about it. No, I'm going to leave it there.
It's a bit harsh, isn't it? No, to be fair, they do look like really, really nice figures. But I've got no intention of buying any of them.
They're not law friendly, so they can stuff it.
Moving on from Horus Heresy scalping and sticking things on eBay. So like I mentioned before, tonight we're going to be talking sort of painting clinic, but tonight's inspired by David, who was asking a question in the Facebook group about clippers and recommending good clippers. So that led us to think, what tools have you got that you would recommend? Is there any brands, any bits and pieces, any secret things that you don't let people know about? Ken, I'm definitely not looking at you. But we'll be getting to that later. And priming as well, because that was
priming is always a good question.
Yes, it really is. And
I agree.
Having read through those suggestions on the Facebook group, I am not like other men.
We knew that already.
I think everyone knew this anyway, so it shouldn't come as a great surprise to anyone, really. But before we get to that, let's get on to what we've been up to. So let's start with Ken. Ken, what have you been up
to? I've been organising hobby space, if that counts. So as you can see to my left, the exclusive IKEA shelves that were mentioned in last week's episode have gone up, and I have placed out and counted and had a very good look at all the American Civil War collection that I purchased, and I tell you what, I got an absolute bargain is all I'm going to say, because they are I was expecting some of them to be chipped and like half done. Nope, they are absolutely amazingly painted. I honestly, I don't know what the person was thinking when they sold them to me for that price, but there we go. I have also been up in the hobby loft, setting out the new tables for the hobby trains and also the hobby wargaming tables. So I've been building those. So I'm doing 6x4 with the possibility of making an 8x4 like as an add-on bit.
Okay.
I'm trying to work out a way, and I think I've figured it out now, and I've done a few test bits of winching a table above my head and then winching it down when I'm not using it.
I'm telling you now, if this is like Final Destination, if you do that, that's how you're going to die. I'm telling you right now.
You're a wanker, because I really want to do it like that.
That's how they're going to find you.
And you know what
you'll put those ACW ones on there.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
But the question is, how long will it take Laura to actually realise he's gone missing and then come and look for him and then find him just a little pair of legs sticking out from the
do you know what she did? No. That's nothing. That's nothing. I was in Ken's hobby loft, right? I had my earphones in, listening to my book, as you do, because I'm working away up there, and I took a 5-minute break, okay? So Laura comes upstairs, thinks that I've come downstairs and I'm in this room, so she decides to take the ladder away. But then she decides to go out for 4.5 hours. And good. Guess where my phone is? On the bed.
Ken, did you spend the afternoon eating insulation and pissing in a bottle?
I was not a happy chap.
That's amazing.
You say she forgot? Did she really? Or
that's the kind of thing that I think we just do for a laugh.
You
sure she didn't realise?
Ken, here's a question for you. What rules are you going to use for your ACW?
I don't know if I'm probably black powder. No, it depends if I keep them or not, because I'm in negotiations with a trade at the moment. I'm trading up to own the Perrys.
Yeah, that's what we reckon.
In the comments, please let us know how many days you think that those ACW will be in Ken's nice shiny cabinet for.
Oh,
I'm only going to trade them with this one person. So if the trade doesn't come off, I'll keep them because they are very lovely.
Are you going to say what you're thinking about trading them for?
No, because I'm not sure what he wants to trade them for yet.
Oh, okay. I thought that down.
Can't spoil the negotiations. Bob says, "Don't winch." She tried to do it in the living room a couple of decades ago. Not good.
No, that just sounds like far too much that can go wrong than right.
Yeah, it's on the main roof timbers, so probably not the best idea, is it?
Here we go. We've got a couple of starters on the book. So Simon thinks it's going to be 4 days.
4 days. That long?
James has been a bit more conservative with 13.5 days.
13.5. Like what you're doing there. Because that would be epic.
So is that what you've been up to, Ken? Just your planning and getting stuck in the loft?
Yeah. Technically, I'm doing some hobby at the moment. Actually, I'm basing some Austrians.
I thought we were going to say ostriches then.
I know Austrians. So yes, hopefully I'll finally have something to actually show on a picture, which would be nice. But yeah, apart from that,
Leslie just let out David 7 days. Leslie 1 day. So what we can see from this is they've got the utmost confidence in you retaining that army.
Yeah, I've still got the ACW stuff. No, the ACW, the Epic stuff though.
Oh yes,
and it's painted.
Well, there is that as well.
Wasn't that just like 4 sprues?
No. I've got
5.
No, I've got a whole box.
Yeah, but not a start box, is it? It's not like the massive start box. It's like a pack.
Yeah, just like a normal brigade box.
Oh, I think. Oh, right, okay. Well, you've painted the whole box.
Yeah, I painted the whole box.
All right.
Yeah, it's painted. I just haven't based them yet, so they're not done technically until they're based.
Oh.
So, yes.
Okay, let's move on to Dom.
What hasn't he done this week?
Have you recovered from that MDF building you were putting together last week?
I'm working on its brethren at the moment, actually painting it. But yeah, actually you can see it behind me there over my shoulder. Big tower.
That's massive.
It is massive, yeah. Although I did realise that I'd actually screwed up one of the sets of stairs. It has staircases inside it. So I had to do a lot of swearing. You would have been proud of me, Steve.
I had to do a lot of swearing.
I had to do a lot of swearing. It just had to be done. And then I sort of managed to cobble it together. But there's definitely going to be dangerous agility rolls if anybody goes down those stairs because they are not safe. A bit like Ken's loft once he's put the table up in the air.
Yeah, I think you guys have kind of put me off that now. So.
Really?
God damn it.
Martin.
I have absolute faith in you.
You just want to see it fall over.
No, he just wants
Actually,
me to
be
call
honest,
him and
I
tell
do
him my
too.
loft's falling, my roof's fallen off.
I'm not going to lie. If you rang me up and said, Martin, I need some help, I would drive down and help you, but I'd be live streaming and picking these two up on the way.
That would be brilliant.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
We're here for you, Ken. Anytime.
Ken, can you feel the love right tonight?
I love you all.
Can you really
I love
feel
all three
the
of you.
love?
Oh yeah. I've had it all my life. Don't worry. Violin.
Oh God. Yeah. So not that busy a week this week in terms of painting, but a little bit done. So I got around to doing because it was so lovely and warm. I thought what better to do a snowy view. So these are some of the Russian North Star retreat from Moscow figures.
Nice.
So
I do like their metals because they're just
chunky,
nice,
aren't they? Nice.
Especially the muskets. I really do like the muskets, and they are just nice, chunky pieces of metal.
They are, and these are quite cool. I mean, they're pretty much the same molds as their other ones, but they've obviously just put scarves around them and that sort of thing, which is just kind of neat. Really nice. So I quite like them. So that's I think they're the Musketeers, 10 of those, and then 8 of the Jaegers, which are pretty much identical. They just have black belts rather than white. That's pretty much the only difference. So that's them. I almost finished the Grenadiers, but not quite done. So that'll be that lot done. And the officer to go with them. So that'll join my 1812 winter Napoleonic Russian for shakos and bayonets and a bit of sharp practice maybe. So that was quite cool to get that done. And then I started, because I had a really good, we started a sort of campaign at the club last week for Wars of the Roses, and it got my juices going again on the Wars of the Roses. So I thought I need to, and the dropping in at Bosworth on the way back from CrackCon, I thought I'm going to do a Richard III faction. So nice. I started with Lord Lovell.
Oh, he's awesome. What make is he?
I think he's actually an old Citadel or something like that. He's actually supposed to be a praying paladin.
I recognise the one behind him. I was looking at
Yes,
that
I was just going to point him out. So that was the figure that you gave me because I admired your one so much. Of the guy wiping his blade after he's cut down somebody. So
Yeah,
I did the same. So I've got him walking away from a body on the ground that he's just.
And you've done him in Tudor livery. Bravo, sir. Bravo. You get the superstar. Bravo. I like that. I mean, also, this guy, this is from Lord Lovell. The dog, the rat, the pig. Yeah, this is the dog, isn't it?
What was he called? The dog?
The dog.
The dog.
Yeah.
He was the dog.
Because he survived Bosworth. He was probably like the only one of Richard's like loyal followers, like proper loyal followers that survived. And then he, no one really kind of knows sort of what happened to him. Maybe like he hid in a house. Someone says he hid and died in a cave for 2 years. I mean, say he went over to the continent and just did all sorts. But there's all these places in England which are just called like Lovell's Hole or Lovell's Rest or something like that. With places he's meant to have hidden.
But because I was reading up on him and I thought he's actually fascinating. Apart from the fact how he died and nobody really knows, but he literally carried on a sort of vigilante war for several years after Bosworth, didn't he? Several battles after that. He lost them all.
Well, ironically, because he's obviously on the opposing side at Stoke Field, which is the last battle of the Wars of the Roses after Bosworth. But William Stanley then sides against Henry, but William Stanley killed Richard. So because Lovell and Richard are basically best mates, and then he's fighting on the same side as William Stanley, whose men killed him and betrayed. Yeah,
it just Well, it's War of the Roses, isn't it? So
exactly.
So that's been in my first faction anyway. He's going to be him. So then I'll do some Richard III, and I'll see where I go from there. So that's all I've been. Well, apart from his buildings.
Is the club on this Friday, Dom?
Not this one night. No, it's closed because of the
Jubilee.
The Jubilee thing. So no,
Damn it.
not this week.
Ken, here's a message from Aled for you. Ken, I'm back at work start of July. I'm going to pick up some pulleys and chains they use to lift tanks with. Worth being sacked to see if your plan works.
Bloody hell.
Your lovely new house will have no roof by the time you finished. It's going to be brilliant. Sorry, I mean, it's not.
So, Martin, what have you been up to?
I've had a fairly busy week, actually. I filmed quite a few videos, and I've been doing quite a lot of editing and stuff, because, I don't know, I don't know about you guys. Sometimes I get in the mood to do a video, and I'll film 2 or 3 things in like simultaneous, like, you know, more or less, or if videos that I'm making, if they're part of a vlog, they'll all finish at the same time. So then you've got all the footage and you've got to start something and work it out. But I did finish something. So with the command base, people who are watching the Warwick thing, you'll see that obviously I decided to lose the cannon. So I just finished the cannon and so I've got another cannon. And it's been a while since I've done a cannon, actually, for the Wars of the Roses anyway. I think the last one I did was actually the Bombard, because I did all my cannons really early, so that'll be nice. That's going to hopefully dent some castle walls this week. And then Miller kindly gifted me some English Civil War miniatures, like, I don't know, about 6 months ago, that he didn't want anymore, that he'd sort of partially painted. So I just sort of went over them and started picking out highlights and sort of changed them a little bit. And I think they're meant to be, I don't know what they're meant to be. I think they're First Corps. And I think they're like, either like, I don't know, they club. One of them's got the musket up in the air, like he's going to batter someone with it. So I've just put them
Irish,
together.
I think maybe.
They look very peasanty.
Yeah, some of them are barefoot, so I didn't know if they're meant to be commoners or what. I basically just painted them up, and they'll be used in my royalist army. I don't really care what they are. You see my really lackluster attempt at tartan there, well, Miller had started it, so I was like, oh, brilliant! I'll just work off of what he did, and I did one line. I was like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. So yeah, I'm just going to use them as a unit of commanded shot. You know, why not? I suppose they're Warlords, Montrose, Irish. Okay, thanks.
That's what they look like.
They're very cool, but yeah, they're going to be used against Miller in the next game because we're sorting one of those out very, very soon. So yeah, they were a lot of fun, and then I We had 3 games, a proper trilogy of Dead Man's Hand games. My mate put together a lovely looking table. Well, my friend, so the guy Luke, who was in the Big Wars of the Roses game, these are all his buildings. My mate Kev, he's got those mats, but they're actually post-apocalyptic ones, which you could just see just a bit of a road, like a modern road. But they worked. I got absolutely spanked. It's one of the most, because I've never played that scenario before, and I probably won't be playing it again. It is so unforgiving. Someone starts in the very first scenario attached to that wagon in the middle, like they're going to steal it, and the other person just has to stop them. Okay. After that, it's a simple case of 2v2, and then after that, whoever's lost has to deploy in a line down the middle in open ground, and then the other person gets to deploy afterwards. And their only rule is they've got to be over 20 centimeters from you. So of course he just went up in all the buildings. So I was, and then you're drawing, and by the end of the turn, I think 4 of my people are out of action. And I was scrambling for cover. It's absolutely brutal, but it was a lot of fun. But yeah, that's really all I've been up to. I'm working on a couple of things, but yeah, other than that, that's about it.
Really nice.
I had a bit of a quiet week because I spent far too long working on a transport, which is this.
Very nice.
That's brilliant.
Because I initially remember the picture I sent you, because I initially wanted to put a guy in a turret or the thing on the heavy machine gun, but there was no way he was fitting in there without losing about 9/10 of his body weight, because there was no room between the back of the gun and the turret ring. So I decided, I was looking at a lot of reference photographs, and a lot of the M3s had like tarps or covers.
Yes.
So I initially was going to make one out of toilet paper and PVA glue. But that sounded like a recipe for utter disaster. And this build has been cursed from the very beginning. It's a simple enough kit, but everything that could have gone wrong has gone wrong. And I'm just glad it's finished. But then I found the canopy from the plastic Opal Blitz, the Warlord kit. So big thanks to Don, who recommended cutting it down for what it was originally like. And I did that. And yeah, once that was done, it was just a plain sailing all the way through. But I'm glad it's done, because it was cursed. A very, very cursed build. But it looks different, and that's what I want. I wanted an M3 that looked a bit different to, what everyone else had.
Yeah.
And then I mentioned last week that I picked up the plastic USMC box by Rubicon, and so I've finished 4. I finished 4 of them.
Oh yeah, man!
Very nice.
Very nice. Oh, cool. I really like those.
And do you know what? I know I was blasted on relentlessly last week about how good these are, and you know what? They really are that good. They're just really nice sculpts. The scale they're lifelike. They're all in proportion, and they just go together really well. And they paint up really quickly. I've never painted this era before. Now, from going from World War II uniforms to paint everything green, it's been so easy. So I painted those in batches of 2, but I think I'm going to do them in batches of 4 to 6 moving forward, because they're really that easy to paint. Just no difficulty whatsoever, and they're lovely, and they look really nice as well. But yeah, quiet week for me.
Very nice. So is that I didn't meant to ask you last week, is that going to be a complete project, or is it just you're just doing it because you'd fancy doing the models?
I initially bought the box because, like I said last week, the Rubicon stuff in the UK sells out just so fast. And I missed out on the first lot. And then my mate got an email saying there was a restock. So I was straight on there. In fact, it was the day that I had my hair cut, so I was still recovering from the anaesthetic. So I went on to, I just ordered it because I just knew that I wanted to have a box of them. But I wasn't going to work on them. I was going to put them away until I finished my Vortex and stuff. But looking at them, they are just so nice, and I really wanted to paint them. And they paint up so quickly as well. And that radio operator is possibly the best radio operator model I've seen in a long time. He actually looks like he's using the radio, which is a novel approach. Well done, Rubicon, for doing something quite novel. So yeah, my photography setup is brutally simple and horrible, and I wouldn't want anyone to see it because it's awful. I think Martin, when it comes to taking photographs of miniatures, I think Martin's the man to do it, not me.
On top of his fridge.
Yes. Taking pictures of miniatures.
It is myself. Although it's got a look. I've added a light now to the other light, so I have 2 lights. But that's only because this one started flickering, and I just every time I took a photo, I swear to God, it was as the light would flicker. So people that's one of, do you get asked that quite a lot? Because I get quite a few comments saying that. But the thing is I think people would be really disappointed. It'd be a really short video. And I don't want to. I kind of don't want. I know it sounds like
the mystique you're trying to keep.
Yeah.
No,
just kind of
mine is. I use my light box cost me £10, and it's the most flimsy, cheap and nasty piece of crap. But it works because it's quite small, but it's got LED lights all the way through.
I think,
and I've got different color backgrounds for. And then I use my 2 desk lamps to put light through the top. And then I use this ring light at the front. So, light from 3 different directions helps photography.
Shadow.
Now, I used to use my spankingly good camera, but I actually found I get better results using my mobile phone, which is really quite strange. But yes, I will. Next time I do it, I'll take a photograph and embarrass myself and put it on the Facebook group. Pun of the night goes to Alex, though. When you primed them, did you paint it black? I'd yellow card you, but I can't be asked. But now it's quite a good pun. Cheers for that, Alex.
Well done, Alex.
Oh God!
Someone did.
It's impossible to hear Fortunate Son not think of a Kiwi. Yes,
it's very true.
And again, wish you guys do a quickie vid on taking pictures. I can't take a decent photograph. Do you know what? If I had to give one tip, it's light. The more
light
light,
is your friend.
Yeah.
Don't ever take a picture of the lights off and use the flash.
No. I use 3 lights. There's 3 different directions. And
or taking a picture outside. If you take it outside.
Well, I suppose it's the painting clinic. I suppose that this kind of helps. Low angles, taking things from a low angle. So if you've got like a light box, if you put it on some books, so you can put your camera low, so you can actually get the model either looking up or at the same level, then it does a lot because you have a lot more space to sort of crop it and do things with it. So low angles looking up, and if you're going to use the background, like I do most of the time, think about depth of field. I know that sounds a bit weird, but basically you put your background, don't put it right up. So if you've got like a grass mat, like I do, don't put the background right up against it. You want to put it about a foot away from it, because then you won't get any shadows from whatever scenery you've got on your background, which you'll see, especially on GW pictures. It winds me up. It's like you're asking us how much for your models. You could at least get rid of the shadow in Photoshop. But also you can put other bits of scenery at a lower level behind whatever you're doing, so it actually looks like a undulating landscape. I'll shut up.
No, like Philip says, well, photos are 70% light and 30% settings and composition. I think Ken said that light is your friend when it comes to taking pictures.
Yeah,
and you know what? It's one of those. What I found, it was very much trial and error. It was getting that sweet spot of lights and the different settings. Another good thing as well is if you're taking pictures on your mobile phone, a good app to use for editing them is called Snapseed. It's I think it's owned by Google. It's free to download from the Play Store, and for a free editing software app, it's fantastic. You can do so much on it, and I think I use about 1% of what Snapseed can actually do. But I would definitely recommend if you take photographs on your mobile, Snapseed is definitely a really, really good app to use.
Good tip.
See, well, it's the PCP Hobby Clinic, so that's my first tip of the night. Use Snapseed when you're using your mobile. It's just a really, really great app.
Should get my mobile and download it now.
It's brilliant. It really is good. Like I say, I think it's a Google app. But yeah, really good stuff. Right, let's move. Well, as it's the Hobby Clinic, let's move on to the question that I put initially in the Facebook group: priming, because I know that I was amazed at the different ways people prime things. And like I said before, I am not like other men. I don't spray, and I don't use black or white. I use brown or green.
That's weird as fuck.
No, I just don't use black or white. I tend to use a mixture.
Grey.
I don't use grey either. It's always a mixture. The three paints I use for priming are dark rust, burnt umber, and US dark green. Any mixture combination of those is my go-to for priming.
So how do you prime then? Do you paint it on?
Let's paint it on.
Oh no!
Wow.
You're the only person I know that does that, dude.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know anyone else that primes like that.
I do that for my shields, but I don't do it for
no, not for my whole figures. No, I do it for individual like weapons or something, but not. Yeah, wow! I didn't know that, Steve.
There we go. No,
I think you know a guy.
No. Fred's General Haig. I brush on, and I've just started using dark brown for prime. Welcome to my world. See, it's not just me. It's not just me.
Oh, it's not just Steve's the weirdo. Good.
That's not weird. That's kinky. It's Steve, but
Steve and the weird shit tag. I don't think I used to use when I first, or for years in the hobby, I used black primer. I always use black paint, and then I think it was because even my bolt action US Marines, they were primed. I used an airbrush black and did them like that way. It wasn't long after that I just thought I didn't like the tones I was getting from a black undercoat or a black prime.
No,
so
I
started
flat, aren't they? Tones.
Yeah,
it's very flat with black.
So I started experimenting with greens and browns, and I sometimes I add greys to the greens and brown mix. Like with these, the Vietnam ones I've been doing, they were mostly burnt umber and dark green. I just think because the figure is going to be 90% green.
Yeah.
For me, it would make sense to prime them green. I don't know why. It's just
I do that with certain figures like British Napoleonics. I'll do red prime. Because the bulk of the colour is going to be red.
Yeah, but you'll use the prime though, won't you, as a main colour?
Yeah, but then I'll put a wash over it and then pick out highlights and everything else. So I'll just work through it. It's just quicker.
Do you paint over the green prime though, Steve?
Oh yeah. Green. Yeah.
So you paint over the green prime.
I paint over it, yes. And what I've started to do as well with my bolt action stuff is once it's primed, I will water my paints down so that they're really like milk, like the consistency of milk, and then put on 5 or 6 coats of the uniform color, rather than just doing one or two thick coats. And that's why it took me so long to paint those Americans, because I was using so many thin coats on them. It was taking so long. But again, the Americans, they were primed in mostly brown because I was putting greens and khakis on there. I found that Vallejo khaki went on better over a brown undercoat than a black undercoat.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I know, Martin, who uses spray cans then?
I use rattle cans. I have lots of different rattle cans. I will never be buying a certain brand again after they will depressurized after not very long. But I did say what that was actually before, didn't I? It was the Troll Trader ones. I was not happy with those. These current ones I'm using are really good. So It depends entirely on what I'm painting. If I'm using things like contrast paints, I will do like a zenithal highlight, but I don't bother using an airbrush. I don't think there's much point. I can't be bothered. So I just use a black. Plus I broke it. But I use I just undercoat everything black and then 45-degree angle, just white across everything, just so you get the shading. If you're using things like the contrast paints, then that helps. Stuff that I'm doing that's like the tanks, like the World War II British tanks. I just found a colour. This one's called Ossified Earth by Colourforge, which was close to British armour and somewhat similar to Italian armour. So I just sprayed that and then gave it a wash. Things like a bit like Dom, like red coats, I'll just spray them red. I'll just spray them red, and then
French blue,
French blue or grey, mostly grey for the French if they're in great coats. Old Guard is just blue. That was one of my third. I think that was my second ever video, was about painting the Old Guard, and it's just blue. Just spray them blue and then put a blue wash on them to just darken things down a bit, and you're basically 75% done. I'm all about if someone does like a spray paint in like the core color and it's color matched. I don't see why not. Like at the moment, hint on what I'm doing without me actually saying, I'm using this spray paint from the Plastic Soldier company. That is a lovely German field grey. So there we go. I'm just trying to think if I've ever done anything weird. No, I've undercoated. I've tried out a. So I was watching one of those like super painters, like Angel Heraldez or someone else. People who do it for a living. And do you know what they swear is the best undercoat color or the best base coat color for flesh?
Go on, pink,
green.
Oh, green.
I remember you saying this.
Green. Just green. They all work it up from green. They always base it with green, and then they go and then they work up the flesh tones, and that's how they get these really nice looking faces. They swear it's because it's based on green, like in the deep recesses. I tried it once, and I don't no, I'm not good enough to make. I'm not good enough to make that green undercoat look good. So,
ill afterwards.
Yeah, so I think
mine
would end up looking like that.
So spray cans. I'm quite up for just buying, having multiple spray cans and multiple colours, and then just like playing around with things. I use spray cans primarily for doing like scenery. So like these things behind me, these desert buildings, they were sort of a spray can of the ossified earth, and then I went and bought some cheap spray cans from not Halford's, Home Base, and then just worked them up with this. But if I'm using spray cans, I had a really bad experience with like the Halford stuff that got really grainy. I know people swear by it, but I won't touch it now. I go for fine primers that are marked as they're fine primers. Because I got so angry because it just ruined a whole bunch of models and I couldn't get the stuff off. So that was enough. But then I don't know about you guys, but I with priming, I definitely, and spray with rattle cans, I definitely have a sort of a zero tolerance policy. Once a brand messes up, like I'm not going to touch that one that I just used it, 20 quid's worth of spray paint. Like the cans are full, but there's no pressure in them. Whereas everything working with these ones so far has been fine, and they're a bit bigger. Army Painter, their whites were a problem. GW sprays are generally all right.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, the Army Painter stuff, I found their nozzles clog too easily. That's what I
find. The nozzles just fall off, and then I can't find them again. I know that's something I just can't find the bloody thing.
They're not great. I'll be honest.
But I did mean to do. I mean, weirdly, I am actually really impressed with these Colourforge ones. I haven't had any issues so far.
Are they the ones that we saw at that show? Yeah. Yes, and they're bigger as well, aren't they?
They're 500mm instead of 400, and they cost about the same. It's just that when Dom went on their website, it said they were like,
it wouldn't let me on. It said it's a security risk. Either I was or they were. I don't know which, but no, it wouldn't let me on. So no.
Yeah, but they are. I recommend them if you see them at a show, or if you go on their website and you don't get your browser lets you go on there. They're absolutely fine. I've got 3 things, and actually, I'll tell you one thing. This is I've got their where is it? I've got their matte varnish, and it's actually a proper matte varnish.
What's varnish?
It's that thing. You don't do that many flags. I spray loads of flags. This helps.
I think for me, living on the first floor with no garden definitely sort of limits my opportunity for using spray cans. In fact, I did it once. I opened the balcony windows, got a cardboard box, and sprayed some Star Wars Imperial Assault figures, and was high as a kite for the afternoon. It wasn't really good because I felt really ill. I had a really bad headache, and I had an urge to listen to the Grateful Dead and eat jammy Dodgers all afternoon. But I never tried that again. But no, I'm actually chuffed that there's people in the chat that brush prime as well. I just thought it was me.
To be fair, Steve, so did I.
Yeah. I think though, the thing about it's like all you were saying, Martin, about the get fed up with sometimes the finish isn't right, even with spray cans. But I think it's like all spray cans. You have the same with people go on about varnishing. Not these two will understand what that means. You have to give it a really good shake for a good length of time. Make sure the can's reasonably warm. Exactly.
Yeah, warm it up in warm water.
Yeah, stick it in a bowl of warm water. And if you do that, then generally they're pretty good. But yeah, I mean, the problems like graininess tend to come about because people haven't quite prepared them right. I mean,
don't do it on a humid day either.
No, that's another one.
Or
a wet day. A wet day is another one.
Or humid day.
What's that? I'll tell you what's worse than just wet. If it's just there's that light bit of moisture in the air.
You're buggered. It needs to be a dry day.
Yeah, I think it's because I don't know. I was like, I did one. I used the Army Painters anti-shine, and it just turned my model white. And I was seething because I'd spent so long, because I'd airbrushed this model. I think it was a War Machine robot Jack thing. I'd done all these different layers, and then I just turned it white, and everyone went, "Oh, just spray it again or paint on it. I'll have a varnish." No, all that did was then make the white stuff harder to get off. I couldn't actually.
I have had that with Army Painter varnishes before. I don't know why.
Yeah,
but even
that's why I don't varnish.
So whatever I've done.
Speaking of varnishes, can you guys bestow your varnishing knowledge upon Peasby upon you? What's the chap's views on a tough varnish? Looking for one that's satin and water based. She's got a great flat varnish who doesn't give the figures any protection.
Well, what someone told me to do, and I don't know whether it genuinely works as well as it should, but because I use the Winsor & Newton matte varnish, which is very, very matte, but as he says, it doesn't necessarily give that much protection. It gives a bit, but not that much. So what somebody told me to do, I think it might have been Sean, said you should spray it with a proper heavyweight varnish first of all, like a gloss varnish, and then once it's thoroughly dry, then use the matte on top to dull it back down again. Yeah, and that way you'll get the matte finish and the protection. So I've heard. But try it out. Don't take my word for it. Try it out on a figure first. But,
or a bit of sprue. You don't mind. That's actually a piece of advice. Rattle cans, if they're new rattle cans or you haven't used them for a while, before you undercoat your models, get some knackered sprue like this and spray that first. I always do that now to test that it's all right and it's covering it and there's nothing going wrong.
Short burst, like not like that.
No, don't be tempted to just hold it over the figure and go. Doesn't end well.
No, it doesn't work.
No.
To be fair, I've had to varnish some of the train stuff because spending time on those liveries and not wanting them to come off, and the rail match stuff. It's a range that is done. You can get it in acrylic varnish for like the airbrush, That stuff's really good, and that's a satin varnish because that's the sort of finish you want on a train. So rail match, acrylics, and that seems to have worked really well. I don't get any fingerprints or anything on the stuff now, which is really nice.
Just a question: whenever I've seen sort of, older figures from sort of the 70s and the 80s, they tend to be really shiny.
Yeah.
Now, was that the only varnish, or was it the oil paints?
You didn't really get any proper matte varnishes, so it was just varnish, and it was a glossy kind of thing. So that's really the effect. I think, as Ken says, I mean, partly I think that was the oil, the sort of the oily based paints or the enamel based paints that we used to use,
in it.
that used to put a bit of a shine on it anyway, and then I mean, to be honest, that stuff on a metal figure was pretty hard to shift off anyway. You didn't really need to varnish because it was like it was coated over it so well. You could chuck them down the stairs and the weapons would bend, but everything would survive. But yeah, I think that was primarily because of that.
It's weird. I mean, I've said before, I've only ever glossed. I've only ever varnished the figures from the Strontium Dog starter box because they were all metal. And I don't know, something just told me to varnish them all. But again, I brush varnished.
There's certain parts of models that I'll also gloss varnish. So if people are wearing goggles, or there's meant to be like a bit of glass or something on them, like if they've got glass goggles or something, I'll do that. Or then again, if someone's holding a piece of paper, I'll run some brush on matte varnish over that. Just to try and give things different tones. But then again, it all depends on what you're trying to get out of the base and that, isn't it? Really, do you want that level of detail, or if you want them just as wargaming figures, and that's what they are, you just put a matte varnish. You put varnish on them to help protect them because you're going to be using them a lot. Depends how much you're gaming as well. Also, it depends if you're going to be like winching them, 6 foot above your head, and then they're all going to fall off.
Yeah.
Might want to think about that, Ken.
You put me off. Let's put it that way.
I think what we've said is it might be not the best for your general health and safety to be winching metal armies 4 or 5 feet above your head.
But what we're also saying, if you do it, please video it.
No, I'm rather happy with my carpentry skills. I'm not too sure about trusting me over winch. If I was to winch, I'd use a mechanical winch as well. I'd have to involve some sort of electrics. I'd have to engineer the shit out of it. Yes, but yes, no, that would that wouldn't look too good, was it? If I decided to break my house.
So moving on from varnish, then let's get to David's question, because his was specifically recommending clippers.
Yes.
Now
I think I've got the same as you there.
Yeah, I've still got the ones that I bought. I meant to say the other week, I bought these in 2008. They're a bit broken, but I can still use them. And then I got these the other week. It's the same model, the same brand, the same mate.
I think I use the same as Dom uses. Are they the blue ones, Dom? You got?
No, these are black handle ones.
Very similar to they're like Dom's but blue handled, the thin clippers with the really fine end,
really fine points on them.
Fine points, detail.
I've got another one here somewhere, but I don't know what I've done with it. But yeah, these are. I think I bought these on Amazon. Like you've got a pack of 3. I thought, well, that will keep me going a long time, and it has. And actually, it's quite useful.
They're very sharp, aren't they? And they're very good.
They're very sharp.
And if you want another tip, get a. If you don't want to ruin your clippers, get a set of clippers for metal and get a set of clippers for plastic.
Yeah, somebody did recommend that, but unfortunately I'd already buggered them up by doing metal with all of them, so that didn't help. But definitely a good idea.
2 sets, one for and then put a bit of tape around the one that's oh, there they are. They're on the floor. Of course they are. Right by my feet.
Thankfully I never have the conundrum of cutting metal figures because I try and avoid them where I can. I just don't like using
Apparently,
them.
you should apparently use safety glasses, and these are good for cutting copper wire up to 1 millimeter thick. That's the make. If you can see,
Yeah, what's your record for managing to launch a spear tip across the living room? That's quite impressive.
Oh, I've done that massively. Yeah.
You can really ping them a long way.
Model 170 pliers.
I've become quite skilled at firing bits of plastic into my drink.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's a good move. I like that. I don't want to do that with a metal spear point, though. No, that's not.
No, good. I can imagine that would not be good.
It would not go down.
No.
I have enough trouble with Elaine standing on one in the morning that I've missed, and then then that's very dangerous. Let alone drinking a drink with one in it.
Yeah.
So both Robin and James have recommended Juron clippers. I'll be honest, I've never heard of them.
Neither have I. I've never heard of them.
So is this something? So I'm intrigued because I think it sounds like we've all just sort of bought. I don't know where Martin gets his clippers from, but we kind of just seem to buy them whatever's cheap on eBay, or Amazon or whatever. Yeah. But is there an economy to buy nice quality ones like you do?
Oh yeah. I've got some really nice ones for work, but I won't use those because they're for work, and they're very expensive. So I wouldn't even.
Why would you need them for?
You wouldn't.
No,
you wouldn't. But
you
can spend a lot in tools in general, isn't it? You can spend a hell of a lot of money on tools.
Oh, of course you can.
See, that's an interesting question. It's because when I buy stuff for hobbying with, I'd rather spend the money on plastic toy soldiers than on tool. So I mean the only thing that I will really be extravagant with is when I buy my fine detail brushes. So I always go for Winsor and Newton Series 7. They're my go-to. But for the most part, for all the other sizes, I get these sort of multi-packs from Amazon. £10, about 15 brushes, and they're not the best, and they don't last very long. But they're like proper workhorse brushes, and they do, what they're meant to do. And the savings I make on them, I can spend on plastic toy soldiers. So I don't know whether some people just they invest the same amount of money in their toolbox, in the clippers, brushes, files, sandpaper, bits and pieces than they would with their actual model kits. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I've got to admit, I'm a bit of a tart like that when it comes to in fishing. You call it a tackle tart, but I'm a tool tart. I do like my tools. I've got quite a bit. I've got a bloody hot wire foam cutter sitting behind me. One of them Proton thermo cutters for when I do terrain. I've got decent soldering iron. I've got hot glue guns, half decent one. I've got loads of tools in there, and my toolbox.
So how often do you use all this stuff? I mean, I've got a hot glue gun, which I bought middle aisle in Lidl or something, which is suits perfectly because for the amount of time I actually do use it.
Yeah, I was about to use it. I was about to use it a minute ago, and then I thought I'd just use super glue instead. To be fair,
exactly.
I was going to use it to because I was having trouble getting those. Oh god, Battlefleet Gothic miniatures back on their stand because 3 of them had snapped, and they'd snapped since I bought them. And I tried some plastic glue because it's plastic on plastic, and that didn't work. And I tried super glue, and that didn't work. But now I scraped the super glue off and redid it again, and a bit more patient. It worked fine. But I thought hot glue would work anyway. Hot glue is quite handy, actually. To be fair, we should use it a bit more in the hobby, especially around terrain. It's very quick. Cool. Yeah, very quick for bonding. And also, if you do like command bases and stuff like that, and you want to use something that's not going to melt plastic, hot glue is very good for that.
My glue gun cost me £10, and it absolutely terrifies me.
Do you want a tip for the string to not get the string? And I learned it off Mel the Terrain Tutor. When you're finished, like you finished doing it, blow the tip because it cools down the end of the tip. Martin.
See what we needed then was a Kenneth Williams. Oh, matron.
or a wah wah wah.
You had to go there, didn't you? Yeah.
I didn't
So
say anything.
slowly
You
ended
said
the
it.
tip of the hot glue gun. There you go. And it cools down the end, so it makes it go. I want to say it makes it go hard.
God.
So you don't get any stringiness come out of it.
Jesus. Whose channel's this? Oh, it's Steve's.
It's mine.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry,
cheers for that.
Steve,
Kev.
I'm so
Let's move on to
sorry.
something a bit more wholesome. Okay, mold lines. What do people use to remove mold lines?
I use surgical scalpels.
Yeah, because they're free.
Because I get them at work. No, well, actually, it's a hobby. There's a train shop near us, and they sell them in packs of 10 for like £3. Just the blades. So I just do that. I've just got to remember to scrape away from me. There's been
you get cut many a time.
Yes,
I use that. It's like a bleeding scimitar.
That looks like something from Friday the 13th. That does.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That looks like something that, yes.
I'm quite adept at those films recently. I use that and a normal craft knife.
I'm with
does the job.
I'm with friends of General Haig here. But not Files. Where's he gone? Citadel mold line.
Yeah, actually, I've got one of those too.
And they're bloody, and it's a real pain in the arse. They're about £14, but they are very good.
Yeah, I have to. Quite like
and you don't cut yourself, and it don't go blunt because it's blunt.
I agree.
Really
it works
good.
Really well. Yeah, it does.
It's the one tool from Citadel that I would actually recommend.
I've never used one.
No, they're actually really good. Really, really good.
Yeah, genuinely, they work really well. Don't know why, but they do. They are expensive though.
And you can use the back of a hobby knife. Yeah, that's always the thing. That's what I used to use. I used to use a craft knife. I used to use army painted craft knife, and then front and the back to remove it. But I've found that the Citadel tool does a really good job at it, so I just use that.
Yeah, I like the same, but I tend to use a knife as well because, like now, I can't even find what I've done with it. The Citadel tool, so I'll end up just using the craft knife and sticking it in my finger. So it's all fine.
Yeah. Oh yeah. However long you spend scraping mold lines, you always miss one 100%.
Yeah, and I normally find it in the middle of recording a video.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
there's nothing like putting a bright light on a figure to realise where you've missed paint and where the mold lines are.
My worst one was when I did the elephants, and I did the painting video for it. And do you know where I saw the mold line? In the thumbnail after it had uploaded.
Oh, joking.
No. So that was. I left that. Yeah. I think I left it, and I pinned a comment to it as something like, "Yes, I know the mold line is there."
What about glue?
I use super glue. I use Gorilla Glue. I use the gel glue.
Yep.
If that's the super glue I use. For poly cement, I just use Tamiya brush on cement, which is what I'm using right now. And then for any kind of like foliage and things like that, not on bases. I use a Gorilla Glue contact adhesive because it bonds straight away, and means you can get a lot more scenery. You don't have to sit there waiting for it to dry. Yeah.
No, that's fair enough.
Yeah, I use any kind of cheap super glue I can get my hands on, really, because I find none of them really stick terribly well. But what I did find, which was a real game changer, is the super glue activator stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, instant stuff. Isn't it?
So it doesn't matter how crappy cheap it is, you use that on it and it instantly sticks it. So that is a real winner for me. So I do that, and then I for the plastics I use the old school Revel.
Yeah, I'm the same. Yeah, I'm the same with you, because I like the tip.
I like. Don't you start on that again. If it gets clogged, you just stick it in a fire or in a flame.
Yeah, just stick it over there.
Unclear it.
Yeah.
See, brilliant. Weird. I don't use plastic cement.
I know you're super glue for everything.
How can you use that with? Gel.
Loctite super glue gel on everything. Absolutely everything: plastic, metal, resin, you name it. I
do
used
that. Because I end up, every time I use super glue, I end up with as much on my fingers to the point where I can't access my banking app for about a fortnight afterwards because all the frigging
see,
fingertips have been.
This has got some nice triggers on it that you use.
I've got them. I've got one here, but it's actually these don't get it on my fingers. To be absolutely fair, you're quite right. But when I'm using the cheap stuff, but these run out so quickly.
Yeah, that's why
So quickly. So if I see them cheap on Amazon, I'll buy 20 of them in one go, and then once they've gone, they've gone.
I think you got a glue habit. I use this on Amazon. This industrial grade super glue.
I like that one. The only thing with that, it blocks I find it glues up after a while.
Yeah, it does.
So I used to buy the big bottles, and it was wasted money because there was about half of it left by the time.
No, do you know what I do? I've got into a real habit of doing it now. Is as soon as I've finished with it, I have to put the lid back on. If you put the lid back on straight away, it's fine.
I do that too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I like those because they're good. I think they are actually pretty good. They're pretty reasonable price.
Yeah, like $3.99,
and they're pretty strong. But
yeah, anything that says industrial on it is always a good sign.
It's got to be a good sign, isn't it?
When you see strength, when you think strength, you think if you see industrial on the label, you think yes, that will stick my miniatures together.
Hey, with your table hanging over,
I could use industrial base.
Couldn't we use the no nails? Do you remember?
Oh yeah, no more nails.
No more nails, where they stuck everything.
Don't even go there. I've used so much no more nails this weekend. You just don't understand to put PVC together. It's been a nightmare. Oh my god, doing my shed roof has been actually. Do you know what? I'm going to show people my shed roof because I'm so bloody proud of it. There you go. There's Ken's shed roof that I refelted out the back of my house.
Well done.
Yes, and a lot of swearing and a lot of cursing and a lot of cutting hands, and somehow gouged my elbow, and I fell off it. So there you go. I actually fell off it backwards, and somehow I didn't hurt myself too badly. I don't understand how, but yes. It was rather lucky. To be fair, it did help that I landed on a trampoline, but actually broke the trampoline.
Did you bounce back up again?
No, it was next door's trampoline.
Ken, your life sounds like an episode of the Dick Van Dyke Show.
I literally fell on I fell on a trampoline and I popped I bounced, but I popped one of the springs on it. So, but luckily it went back on, so it was fine. But yeah, I did bounce.
Does anyone use PVA? I use a lot of PVA glue.
Not for models. I use it for terrain.
I use the Gorilla Glue wood glue for doing my bases. Again, it just dries quicker, but it also expands. So like when you put PVA on for bases, obviously it shrinks.
Mm-hmm.
When this stuff doesn't, it expands slightly, so you don't get that. You don't. So if you've got, for example, a dip in a base, and you paint it into it, or normally we dry, you still get that dip. This won't; it will fill it, and then it goes hard.
No, because I use PVA to add flock and static grass.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll do that.
Put a bit on the base, and then get tweezers. And I normally put 3 layers on top of the original glue, just to give it that more thick-looking appeal. But no, I love PVA. It's quite. Although when I was making,
great for basing.
When I was making those Stalingrad sort of display-based things a couple of years back, I was using Gorilla Glue, the wood stuff, to attach all the grit and the bits and pieces to that, because it's a really it is really tacky. But yeah, it just I've not used that in a while though. Gorilla Glue.
I bought a 5 litre bottle industrial thing of PVA from there's a shop down here called In Excess. It's like a B&Q but an independent one. There's only 2 or 3 stores around here, but they were selling that for like $2.99 for 5 litres. And it's really thick industrial grade PVA, so I can thin it down. And yeah, that works really well for figures, depending on what application I need it for. But all my bases, everything that I've ever based is PVA.
Yeah, I use bases for my PVA on my bases almost always.
I was just thinking about it. I tend to use super glue if I'm doing like kit bashing and stuff, or if I've done lots of conversions. If I've got like 3 bits of an arm that need to stick to no, just plastic as well. If I've got 3 bits of an arm that I need to go together fast because they're going to be holding something like that model I made Dom. That's the arm. There's about that arm was cut into about 6 different pieces, and then I had to get the green stuff on the in the hand.
It's a good tip
because it was just easier because the problem with the poly cement is yes you can move it, but you have to kind of sit there and hold it, so you'll watch it and the arms will slowly go like this.
They drop,
they move down, and then and if you're not paying attention you come back to it and go why does it look like that now?
Or you got to wait 20 minutes for each bit to dry completely and then move on to the next. If you want it done quickly, you'd have to use super glue. The gel, I reckon, would be quite good for that, Martin. The PVA, the super glue gel would be good.
The gel, what I found with the gel is you get a lot. You can control where it goes, and you get slightly more work time with it.
Yeah.
So if you do need to readjust it, you
probably more tacky as well.
It is, and you can whereas when you use the sort of the more gloopy liquid, it tends to go everywhere.
Yeah.
If and there's no exactly no real control over it. But I swear by super glue gel. I think I'm on my 34th bottle since last January. Definitely on a special Amazon list.
Amazon probably think you're definitely got some issues.
Well, he has all the weird shit he does.
Yeah,
to be honest.
Well, brush priming figures is not an issue; it's a cult.
Do any of you guys? I guess it might only be Steve. I don't know, but I use a razor saw quite a lot.
Yeah, I've got one, but not for models. I use it for terrain.
A brass saw. I use it for kit bashing and for converting them for taking, because I take the pudding bases off quite a few models. If I want to do it, so I'll use one of those to take it off, because otherwise you wreck the feet. You spend all that time.
I do occasionally.
Yeah, that's something I'll spend some money on, because a better quality one of these will last quite a long time. Whereas I used a shite one and a cheap one, and it was so flimsy, it just bent, and then I wouldn't do it again. But
depends what the application's for, doesn't it, Martin? Whatever tools you're going to use, if you're going to spend a bit more money on it, isn't it? If you need precision, you need to spend more money on stuff.
Yeah, precisely.
Especially when you're cutting feet off pudding bases.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Definitely.
Razor saw for metal figures' heads.
Yeah.
That's what you need.
In fact, if you just remove the 2 word metal figures, it sounds like something from the Wars of the Roses. Razor saw for heads.
I think the razor saw would probably be a lot quicker than what happens to a lot of them in the Wars of the Roses.
Yeah, that's another one. Small hacksaws. I don't tend to use a hacksaw, but I found out to my detriment many years ago that cheap hacksaw blades just aren't worth it.
No, they're not. They're a load of shite.
Because you could end up doing more damage to your own person than what you actually want to do to the thing you're trying to saw.
I've always found when it comes to something that I need to work first time, if you buy cheap, you buy twice. If you buy decent for something you need it to be decent with, you don't buy twice, and you keep using it. It's like I say, with my soldering iron and stuff like that. I bought a decent soldering iron, and my dad's got a really crappy cheap one I was using in the intimate, and then as soon as I bought a decent one, that was it. I was like, oh my God, what have I been doing in my life?
We've all been asking that.
Yeah.
Do
you guys use these little pin vice things?
Yeah. The pinning. Yeah. I'll tell you a quick little trick
drilling
for
barrels.
Pinning drilling barrels, or another way is if you Warwick, I did his arms, I had his head pinned and his arms. Because I've seen people they sit there, they're trying to drill them, and then they're trying to glue a pin in there, and it gets messy, and by then they probably lost the will to live. I get a long drawing pin, thin one. I heat it up with a lighter, and I just push it into the plastic. and it's that, and then it will just the plastic will just drop, like go hard, cold,
cold,
melt hards on it, and then you
cut off what you need, don't you?
Yeah, you just pull it out. If you just twist it, it'll come out. You just trim off a little bit of the excess, and none of that mucking around with. That's what I do for gun barrels as well. I just heat up the end of a pin and just put it in the gun barrel.
No, Ken, did you say you use a pin vise for drilling out gun barrels?
Yes, mate.
Yeah, so I do. There's something satisfying about drilling at the end of a bazooka or a bolt action.
Yeah, and on tanks, the barrels,
on tanks as well. It
just makes them look so much nicer.
I know.
Don't know why.
It just takes a couple of minutes of extra work, and it just looks so much more realistic.
To be even more annoying now, Martin's just hit on something there, because if he uses or you could use a needle as well. If you hit the end of that, you could go along all your bolt action figures and do all their rifles. It would work because it's so fine a point.
Mm-hmm.
You could actually go around and do the barrels. Oh no!
Good luck with that. Jeez.
Oh no!
I have to say, for the heretics like me that love a metal figure, I found those pilgrim drills are sort of okay to a point, but after I'd lost a couple of hands on some futsal figures trying to open them out enough to put weapons in, I actually invested in one of these, which is actually an electric pin drill. So it literally, it's got a USB thing, and you just use the same heads on it, and it just drills through properly fast. It's lovely. I was trying to use the big Black & Decker, but that wasn't really working.
I remember
this is really good.
You said you had some issues with the Saga army we did.
Oh yeah, God, that was. I think that's when I bought this, because that Saga army, the hands on that was just a nightmare to drill out. So yeah, I think that works quite well with the metals so far.
Do you guys have one of these? I've got quite a few. I've got 2 or 3 helping hands. Any of you got these?
No.
Yeah,
no.
I've got something like that, and I've also got one that the glass. The ones you wear as glasses. Every time I lean forward, they fall off.
I don't use the magnifying glass part very often, but to hold things in position, these crocodile clips are like gods. You know, you can just literally hold, if you want 2 bits to glue together nicely, or if you're doing a bit of soldering, helping hand, you know, this really does help. I've got a really decent one for work, but I just bought a cheap one to use here. But yeah, or a vice pin, an actual vice, like a table vice.
So what do people use to hold figures when they're painting then?
Either my fingers or a painting handle.
I've never invested in a painting handle. I use corks and then put some blue back on top.
Gives you an excuse to drink the wine, doesn't it?
Corks. Exactly. Or I use. What comes in really handy? You know these Vallejo mud things. When they're done, just use them. Blue tack the figure on. Sorted.
Well, if you do mass production like I do, I just use a very simple Yoo-hoo glue, stick them in 5s or 6s on a tongue depressor in a great long line, and there's
that's you do tongue depressors. If you've seen them a couple of times, I do this. Yeah, I'll use that. Where I can get a whole 24-man. That's how I do my French. I'll do a whole 24-man regiment on there.
You just go down the line doing the different colours. That's what I do. I do that pretty much every figure I do.
I can't paint like that. That would drive me insane. I can't do it. Because I can't get round the back.
That's because you put them on at an angle. You put them on at like a little 45-degree angle, and then you can get everywhere.
I mean, I have been known before now on with like when you've got a unit with 4 figures on a base, I'll do the 2 corner ones, stick them down permanently, and then put another 2 on a on a tongue depressor thing, and do it that way. So yeah, always do it that way.
This might be controversial. I can't remember if we've talked about this. So I've started painting my cavalry figures all assembled. Like I don't paint the rider and the horse separate anymore.
Oh yeah, I always do. Yeah,
assembled, because I sat there and I'm like, I'm cutting a third of this horse out.
Yeah,
by doing this, or I'm painting it and I've done this lovely. Yeah, I'm just covering it over.
I'm with you on that, Martin. I do exactly the same thing. Can't see the point.
Just a quick message from Simon. Dom or Martin, would either of you like a free bag of Victrix Normans?
You really need to ask that.
Well, yes.
Does Tom need Normans?
It's very. I have so many. Hang on.
To be fair, I have two. To be absolutely fair,
So
I think
these,
anybody else
these
wants
are
them.
that's all unmade Normans.
Jesus. Oh my God, you've got
There's-
even more than I
there's-
have.
That is a
Simon,
lot.
2,
Simon,
3, 4, 5,
Simon,
6,
Simon,
7,
keep-
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I've got
Jeez,
15
that's a lot.
sprues.
Simon, there could be a good cause that you could donate them to at some point. Just saying.
Yes.
Just
Oh,
saying.
yeah.
Oh, do you want to do? Should we do some news?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. Have we got some news?
We're really going to do this.
Cool
Funny
news.
that.
Should you want to start with that? Should
Yeah,
we
go
start with that.
Start
All right.
Let's make them wait to the end. Let's be bastards.
Well, no, because there's actually 97 people watching now, and by the end there might only be like 10. Other than that. Basically, we had we suggested last week how many people would be interested if we put on another gaming day, another CrackCon in October, thinking, we might get 25 people interested, and 75 people came back saying that they're interested. So we done it. We booked one. Here we go. So
So we're not giving any warning.
No.
Ta-da! Get your
There we go.
diary.
There we go. Oh God, here we go again.
Saturday, 15th of October.
Right, Travel Lodge
That's
website. Where
that's
are
the
you?
day we can go.
Yeah, book it now, Dano.
We will have a chat about things that we can put on and games and all that in due course. The tickets will also go up in due course. But there's a date for your diaries. 15th of October. Boards and Swords again. So, and it's pretty much going to be, unless anything changes, the same details as before. So long as obviously all the hire and venue and everything costs remain the same. But we won't have any more announcements for probably a few weeks until we say what day the tickets are going on sale. But then we'll be opening it up to for the games and everything else. So there we go. So set your get your diaries ready. But you asked, we listened. There we go. I know there might be some people who can't make this day. We unfortunately we can never probably get it so we can have everyone. But that's
we have to make sure the four of us can do it, and more importantly, the venue can do it.
Yes.
Yeah. So there we go. CrackCon 3, 15th of October, 2022. Oh, also I did notice that the Facebook group has now gone past 600 people. But I couldn't. I'm still struggling to think of something that involves 600 people that isn't the charge of the Light Brigade. So there will be something. So thank you very much. I know that we've had about 30 new members in the last week.
Yeah.
So thank you very, very much to everyone who's joined, and of course everyone who watches and takes part. Anyway, I'll just do a very quick announcement, just because we've got our. Should I put up the upcoming shows? Actually,
yes,
we've got that. So, and I'll actually post this time because I realised I forgot to last time. So your PCP menu for June is the 6th of June next week is being hosted by Dom. And we have Ian on from Flags of War. So Dom will be is going to be doing that one because he's got his new Kickstarter, and we want to chat flags.
A whole load of pictures already of some of his next figures for the Border Reavers figures, and they look amazing. Which we'll show next week.
Looking forward to that because I know it sounds weird, but I just want to ask someone if flags what made you do flags?
I know that's I mean that was one of the reasons I wanted to talk to him about it because I think exactly the same. Why?
Yeah, what made you do flags? And 13th of June, it's me, and we're going for it again. It's been nearly a year. We are going for the Great Plastic Crack Survey Mark II. We did this last year when the Facebook group only had about 200 people in it. And we got a great response. So in the next couple of days, I'll post a link to the survey. So please go on there, fill it in. There'll be a round of questions, and basically we're going to go through the survey as a result. And we'll see if anyone's got any suggestions for questions. There might be seeing as we've got so many more members, I might have to bring a few of you back. I want to see what the varnish to non-varnish ratio is. Because last time the varnish crowd absolutely destroyed it. But there were some quite funny other ones. 20th of June, Steve's got it, and Steve's going to be taking us through the joys of kit bashing. I don't know if he's got like a PowerPoint presentation ready. But
there'll be a PowerPoint.
PowerPoint is great.
PowerPoint, Excel.
And 27th of June, it's young Ken, who, because it's going to be pretty much exactly halfway through the year, feels that you may need it. So we're going to talk about inspiration. Or that's right, yeah? Yeah. Inspiration for gaming, right?
Yeah, gaming.
Just general.
Life generally.
What gets you up in the morning?
Hobby. Yeah, hobby. Yeah, I didn't want to call it hobby inspiration because just the inspiration around not necessarily just doing hobby, but research, inspiration around actually purchasing your models. Just keeping you going. Basically, what's keeping you going?
Fantastic. Well, there we go. So that'll be on the Facebook group. So if you've got any questions or you want anything specifically asked, say to Ian or to anyone, then you can either post them on this post, which will be pinned, or Dom will be setting up the stream about a few days in advance. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Do we have any actual news? I've got a couple of things.
Yeah, a couple of things. Go on, you do yours first.
Okay, so I thought these might Empress have released some SAS and SBS Falklands War stuff.
They do look good.
Yeah, I thought they were really cool. Ken, you've talked about doing like more modern stuff.
That's made me very interested.
Yeah, go and check out. So Empress, they got a whole load of stuff on there. So
actually, while you're on there,
I was waiting to get stuff like this, so that's really cool. Actually, so that's definitely a period I'm thinking of doing.
They've also done these Soviet paratroopers 1980s era, so they're obviously pushing hard on the modern or sort of after the Second World War period. So there's some really interesting figures, and they are nice. I do like the Empress figures. They do a really good job.
Yeah, they are very, very cool. Victrix, Dom put these up the other day, but they've released their French Dragoons, and I just really like that chap. I just really liked it because these are 1807 to 1812, I think. They're the early, or 1805. They're the earlier stuff, aren't they? So they've obviously looked at the Perrys have got the later box. But these look very, very cool. And then just from me, if you're into your battle games in Middle-earth, they've released their War in the North setting, and those people who read The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, the Bayon and the Beorings, they've released them, so you can get these guys. The guy, the rest of his race that can turn into the big angry bears. Very cool, and as well, you can just get the rest of their kind as well. Very nice. I assume these are Forge World, so take from that what you will about how much they cost, but they do look nice. So, and I do really, really like that bear. I think that looks awesome. Very, very cool. But that's all I've got. What about you, Tom?
A couple of things from First Corps. So that's some new Russian High Command figures, which look rather good. I love the guy. I love the guy with the little red book. And they've done some more A10 tanks. They've been doing a lot of early war tanks.
Ooh, nice.
But they look really, really good indeed. What else did I see? This was interesting. So Geek Velen have expanded out a bit of what they're doing, and have got a whole load of 3D printed models, and pretty good price. This Hetzer is £9, which is not bad, really, is it? Looks a nice little model.
It's not bad at all.
So there's quite a small range at the moment, but he's got a few vehicles and some infantry, US and German. It's worth having a look at, I think. For those who like their weird shit, I thought they might be interested in that. So,
what? Where's this?
So there's a Kickstarter that started on the 26th, actually. So Cthulhu and Pulp Miniatures. It's their Wave 2, Martin. You keep up. Come on. This is Brigade Games in America.
Okay. They do look cool. I do like a Cthulhu-y model.
Yes. You can't go wrong with a Cthulhu model. You really can't.
And also this one. So these are Salt Group. Done some more Spanish cavalry. They got a whole range of these sort of how do you call them? Sort of early Renaissance kind of period, 15th or 16th century. Really nice. There's a really nice range of them coming out. So yeah, that's what I saw.
And it's cool. Should we have I've just seen a couple of comments. Andy has said Ireland's coming and he's bringing the bad war. Alex already ahhing chain of command, or Aldrin pulls it off. We'll have a lot of time to chat about these. We've got five months, although we said that last time, and
it'll come around really rapidly again.
Yeah, Yorkshire Dragoon. We are very aware that not everybody can come, so we over the next few weeks we will we won't bang on about it too much. Just
a little bit, because we love it so much.
It's like one of the fastest turnaround in history, because we went from oh no, not again this year to well, we probably could do it again this year.
Yeah.
Andy's just said here, if ECW makes an appearance, he'll paint a full army if it means he can batter Cromwell. The first one, we had a big Napoleonic war game in the middle. Last year, we did the big, last one, we had the big Wars of the Roses. I dare say, we've been chatting, haven't we, lads? Yeah. And I dare say the middle table this time might have to have a lot of pike blocks.
I think it might have to.
I think it'd be rude not to.
Possibility.
Yes.
And James, yes, Blood and Plunder again. You're under, my wife basically says you can only come if you bring that, basically. So,
and none of us argue with Hayley, that's for sure.
No. And Alid gets award for fastest travel lodge booking.
Oh no, Matt's done it as well.
No, I booked it just as you said as well. I've just booked it.
Did you? Are we gonna? We might want to tell them we can't. Actually, no. This time, I'm not going to eat in the travel. No,
we're not eating in the travel. We may be able to book a place for all of us to go to.
Well, we did say about potentially going for the curry after the day of gaming, because there's the all you can eat curry, and when we went to the curry this time there was a group of like 30 people in there anyway, so anyway, yes, those of us that paid for our breakfast were were quite I don't know,
don't pay for breakfast. There'll be people have got to pay for it, because otherwise I won't be able to get it for free again, because everyone will come down and have the same idea, and they'll be like 20 people.
You didn't get it for free. Get it for free implies you asked them and they gave it to you free. You didn't get it for free. You stole it.
It's semantics. Anyway,
no one asked me for payment.
The visit to the Indian buffet place was worth it just to see Dom drinking Carling.
Yeah.
Drink God, that was revolting.
Oh yeah, then we found out that they actually had other beer.
Proper beer as well, but he wouldn't give it to us, would he?
He just lied.
He did lie. God, it was like soap. It was horrible. I go back to my garlic beer. That's much better.
Oh,
you do realise it's half term that week, don't you?
Yeah. Is it? God.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's a little bit more expensive in the travel lodge. I'll just say that.
Yeah, it is. I noticed the price was a bit higher this time. Anyway, that's when Ian can do it, isn't it? I think that's.
Yeah. That's when we can all do it as well. That's the
that's the other one. Yeah,
the two things.
An urgent public service announcement from Ken. He's bringing his own tea bags this time.
He's not having that. Let me quote him. He's not drinking that Thai food shite.
That was one of my main takeaways, was just seeing. So he walked over. I thought he'd like hurt himself or drop something when he swore, and he turned around with that tea bag. It just looked so angry.
Shite.
I might ask for a bit more real coffee in my room this time, and not that.
Well, no, we could swap. I'll have the decaf, and you have the real coffee.
Decaf, bloody hell! Hideous scenes all around. It really was. No, Ken, you've been saved. James said he's going to bring a whole box of Yorkshire tea.
Ooh, tea.
And of course, remember everyone, just bring your Baileys and Ken will.
Oh yeah, bring plenty of Baileys and watch Ken.
Christ, I'm not doing that again. Well, I'll be drinking Baileys again probably, but I won't.
No, it's Steve's turn next time.
Actually,
it's Steve's turn to disgrace himself. Me and Dom disgraced ourselves number one. You did it last time. It's now Steve's turn.
I don't think that'll be happening.
You say that now, Steve.
I mean, I do drink. See, when I drink Baileys, I drink half pints of it because I can't stand the little measures.
When I drink Baileys, I don't often drink Baileys, but when I do drink Baileys,
it's normally on New Year's Eve. I'll drink a bottle of it as a bit of an aperitif, but it has to be in a big glass. I've got a big skull mug. I normally put half a pint of Baileys in it.
Drink out of the bottle. It's just so much cooler. You
out
look
of the bottle.
You look like a proper pirate.
No one looks cool drinking Baileys, Ken. No, that has never happened.
The phrase "proper bloke" and Baileys just shouldn't be used in the same sentence.
Ken trying to look hard in Derby, drinking his Baileys in his hoodie in that underpass.
Tell you what, it wasn't so terrifying in the daylight, was it?
No, it wasn't actually. Oh god, it'd be dark again, won't it? That underpass
would
be dark
again. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Have to wear my stab vest.
I am looking forward to it. Definitely, it should be a very, very interesting.
We'll have a great time.
Right. Should we have a look at some people's figures?
Yeah, we love them.
Let's have a look.
Ryanair have 2 flights to East Midlands, 8 a.m, 10 p.m. Feckin' hell. You want the 8 a.m. one because 10 p.m. be a bit too late, Andy. Oh shit! Yeah, I could fly up. That's actually not a bad idea.
Oh, for God's sake!
Oh,
it's gone from travelling around the country on a bus.
Ken, we're all looking forward to what economic trip you take, like via,
Let's have a little look.
He'll probably mail himself there.
Yeah.
He did one of those YouTube shop videos, couldn't he, where he mails himself to Derby and films it. That'd be great.
Southampton to Derby via Reykjavik.
Reykjavik.
But you have to travel as a dog or something.
Yes.
Right, let's have a look at some nice figures, shall we?
Yeah.
So this is from I think it's Brady or Braden. Early war Germans. I do like an early war German uniform. I think it's not something I've ever painted, ever. I've never painted. I've painted a few. I've started those Stalingrad ones, but I've never painted the actual 1939 sort of start of the war Blitzkrieg uniform with the overly green jacket and the blue trousers. But I think those colours are absolutely nailed on. They are they're really very good. What if you're in the chat? What green did you use for the helmet? That I think I know what it is, but interesting. I do like that colour. Let's have a look. Now we got Andrew. A bit of Wars of the Roses.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, see, Andrew was asking about what flags are the best. So the answer is probably Pete's flags. However, don't discount Freezy Water because they've got the biggest range, and with a little bit of work, those flags will look really nice as well. But also, the Perry one, the ones you get in the Perry boxes, they're quite nice.
The freebies they give you are brilliant. Actually, they work nice.
They've got some really good alternatives in there. I was chatting with Paul, and he was saying about the Richard III ones, and they're one of the only ones where there's like a Richard III banner, which is like yellow with the boar on it instead of like they always do Murray and blue. Anyway, yeah, Pete's flags, but definitely shop around because you can get a bit of variety through everything. But they are.
I love the bases on them as well. Lovely stuff. Nice work. Okay, a bit of World War II here from James. Some World War II Baltacs and British.
Very good.
Always good seeing a fully finished project like that, isn't it?
Very nice.
Very inspirational. I was gonna write down the name of the regiment because I think James said it's his old TA regiment.
Oh, nice.
So we decided to model it in for bolt action.
Very good.
Oh, very nice. You out there, Martin?
I've dropped a grenade, and that's not a euphemism.
That's That's not great.
But James, if you're ever in the chat, let us know what I think it was Wessex. It might have been something Wessex. But yeah, let us know.
There's an old infantry regiment, Wessex. Oh Christ! I want to say, that's going to really annoy me now. I'm going to have to look that up.
I think it was Wessex something. But if you let us know, that'd be rather good. Up next, back towards the Roses with Don.
Yeah. So he's taken he's adding in lots of like knights and that into his regiments basically. But because it's just great to get those colours in. He's done a fabulous work on the coats and arms.
Yeah,
really
Awesome.
cool.
Yeah,
really nice.
that's one thing that looked really good. But the big Wars of the Roses game at CrackCon, the flags and the banners, it just made the whole thing stand out. It was really good.
How the hell are we on CrackCon 3?
Don't know. We need another. We need to come up with another name though, don't we? Because the last one was Crack Harder. We need another one that we're allowed to print. That we're allowed to put on YouTube.
Some of your suggestions were not going to go up. No.
A bit more modern stuff here from Joshua with some the Israeli Defense Force.
Oh yeah,
that's cool.
Really well done, those, aren't they? Lovely.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Uzis.
Are they 28 or 20?
28. Look at 28.
I can never. The quality of 20 mil these days, it's really deceiving.
If they're 25 mil round bases, they're 28s. Just by the feet.
I have to check. No, like I said though, the quality of 20 mil these days, it's your mind plays tricks, to quote Alan Partridge.
Mind you, I get the same with 15s now. There's some amazing 15s you look at them and
well, Dom, that's because 28 mil gaming is dead.
It's dead. You're quite right, Steve.
We attended that meeting. We did. It's over. The whole thing is over.
The curtain was raised.
Good job. I love you lot.
No, I really like these. These are from Matthew. These are some fantasy knights. Look at those.
Oh, fantastic!
Oh, wow!
Jesus,
lovely green.
Wow,
lovely.
Sorry, I'm not loving it. Yes.
Crack of doom.
That gets it.
We have a winner.
We have a winner. We don't need any more.
Yes.
I think Matthew said that these could be used in Warhammer Age of Sigmar, but okay. I think he just labeled them as fantasy knights. But if they're plastic, are they plastic? I don't know what they are.
I don't know who does them.
They look. They look metal. I don't know what.
Whatever they are, they're cool.
They are very cool. If anyone,
I love that color, man.
That greeny turquoise color is really,
awesome.
Really good.
If that's a straight color, can you let me know what that is, please? Or what you did to get that?
Absolutely fantastic, really nice. Matthew. The next one, I like them, but I don't know what they are. I'll be honest. I think they're from Game of Thrones, or is it the Song of Fire and Ice? These are Kostark loyalists.
Oh
yeah, they are.
Yeah. They're the forces. If you watched it, Steve.
Nope.
They're the one. All right. Okay. All right. Yeah. They're Stark loyalists. They're cool. I think they're quite heavy hitting in the game. I do like that game. I think I said that last week as well. But there's another one my mates have got, and also a couple of my friends in CrackCon bought out like loads of their models.
I want to know what those things are behind. That looks like a giant polar bear and a badger. Or something with a badger with a big gun on its back.
That's the Russian bear, or the Soviet bear with the gun on the back. I can't remember which game system it was from though.
Yes,
but it looks like a badger on his two feet standing up.
But that polar bear looks interesting as well. Lee, please let us know what they are, mate. We're all intrigued. Up next, bit of Ken. This is one for you. Bit of American Civil War from Matt. Look at those.
Oh yes, now that is what you call production line.
Awesome. Lovely.
They are. Job. Are they Perry's?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they look like it.
They are. The whole thing is Perry's. He just went. He put up a couple of things a few weeks. Was it? I think it wasn't even that long ago. It might have just been like a week or so ago where he put up he built the whole lot, and then his 96 that he's done, and he's just
96.
Yep.
Do you know what? It's so nice turning around and look at those figures and realizing I've not actually had to paint them, and they're just shiny and sat there. Back in the box, precious. Long? Back in the box.
But for how long, Ken? How long?
Only 13.5 days.
13.5 days. These are from Neil. These are the Milan Guard.
Oh,
nice!
Wow!
Oh, very nice indeed. Wow.
There's some cracking. Again, that turquoise
awesome.
colour is really, really good.
Oh my G! Wow. Very nice.
That chap with the beard looks decidedly violent looking.
That looks like a GMB flag as well, doesn't it, Martin?
That does have the I mean that is a GMB. He's going to turn around now and say no, but I know a GMB.
I know, yeah, that is a GMB flag.
They're really nice. I love the off whites on the trousers as well.
Yeah, it's got the right level of muddiness.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with a bit of mud. That's what
Sorry, get you excited there for a minute. Sorry.
Mud. Up next, we have from Paul.
Oh yeah,
some commands from the 100 Days War. That is
nice. Cracking Napoleonics up today, aren't there?
Yes.
I mean, not that the guys don't like, but it really is a win for Napoleonics tonight. Jesus.
Yeah, that dispatch, that letter looks absolutely awesome. The shadow underneath where the actual crease.
I like the red. The red.
Yeah,
on the uniform.
The red with the yellow bits. That
highlights in the trans. Okay.
Actually, as General Haig says, look at the horses as well. Blimey.
I hadn't even got to the horses yet.
Wow.
Can I apologise for my ignorance of all things Napoleonics by describing them as yellow bits?
The yellow bits.
I imagine they've got a proper name, but it escapes me at the moment. I can't work out.
Braid.
Braid. There we go. Yellow braid. But they are. Everywhere you look, there's something good. It's just brilliant. I can't wait. Paul, can you post that when it's all based up? Because I think that would just look absolutely so good. Top stuff. Something a bit different to Napoleonics now. Steve's been painting more of his Black Templars.
Oh, nice.
Very nice. I love the fact he's done with yellow guns against the black armor. That's really smart. Very nice.
I just love the way he paints the black armor on these guys, because painting and highlighting black armor is difficult. You can cheat and dry brush, but they've not been dry brushed. They've been properly edge highlighted.
Yeah, very nice indeed.
I can't wait till he's finished this entire army. I really want to see the whole army in its entirety. It's going to look.
Oh
really
yeah,
good.
that'd be awesome.
That one last week. The one last
week. You swap your ACW, you mean?
Yeah.
Ken,
so
alone.
Yeah.
Right, Ken, avert your eyes, mate. Avert your eyes. We have some Vikings from Simon.
Yeah, no, I saw these lovely stuff.
I appreciate them. The shields look really cool. They look awesome.
They are very nice. I love the banner as well. Now, is the banner a little Big Men Studio one, or is it hand painted?
Oh, I don't recognise that one at all.
I don't recognise the banner. It's really nice.
If you painted that banner, I will seriously eat my foot. If he painted that banner. Because that is incredible if he's painted that banner.
Who makes those figures?
They're Victrix, I think.
Victrix, yeah, they're Victrix ones, aren't they?
They are very, very nice. Because I was contemplating my Warlords of Erewhon warband, and I was going to do Vikings, but the other night I watched Jason and the Argonauts again. So I've decided to do skeletons.
I haven't watched that in years.
You're going to get the War Games Atlantic ones.
Oh no!
Don't.
They're not the horrible ones that are like 9 pieces, are they?
No,
I know people
Warlord's
said
factory.
the ones I was going to get were Warlord, the Children of the Hydra box. With you get the free metal necromancer with it, and you get spearmen, swordsmen, archers in there. All the skeletons I'll ever need. That's my plan.
Yeah.
What next? This is just so good. This is an ogroid myrmidon.
Oh yeah, the skin.
I know.
It's very nice, isn't it? Oh, yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah, she's just got back from swimming and said, "Would I like a drink?" I said, "Can I have a cup of tea?" And then she basically rolled her eyes at me because that involves effort.
You could have just said water.
But I could have said water, but I asked for tea, and now
you're an awkward shit.
All right.
Oh, I love that woman. She makes me crack up.
Tony, thanks for posting something with the best metal band name of the night. I listen to Ogroid Myrmidon.
That is.
And last but not least, one for Dom. It's going to be Weird Shit Central.
Oh, please.
It's Warren
Excellent.
Zombies.
Come on, Dom, you got to appreciate them. That's awesome.
There's so much going up in the group now. Like it's so again, it's just if we've missed anything or anyone's we're sorry, but it's just so much in there. It's crazily good. So, actually, that's a good point. So next week we'll probably have the results of the OPC challenge from this month, which is cavalry. So Warren, I'm sure, will be sending an email over with everybody's entries and everything. So you'll get a little bit of that next week as well.
That was when I was going through the things. They had OPC against so many. I was like, I can't use that. But yeah. So all I will say is what I've seen from the OPC submissions. It just absolutely cracking,
amazing stuff.
Just I know I've painted less than 10 cavalry my entire life, so I can appreciate those that can paint cavalry because I can't, because I'm bloody lazy. I did paint 3 for my turn at 28 army, and they were rather good.
The snail counts. The snail's a cavalry.
Oh yeah, that's technically cavalry as well.
Yes. Not very fast cavalry. You wouldn't call it light, but
yeah, definitely slow moving cataphract, maybe.
Yeah, it's definitely slow moving, but yeah. So
there was. I just thought of another bit of news. Actually, didn't they release some more information this week about Warhammer: The Old World? Apparently, it's meant to be everything that basically they're carrying on from fantasy, I believe. So it'd be quite interesting to see if the miniatures ranges will open back up.
Well, I saw because I heard a rumor that they were going to make it was going to be like 15 mil.
Oh no, 28. What? No, 28.
I heard that maybe they were going to do it small scale.
No, they did turn around and say that they would keep their 28 mil, unless they're making it 15 mil models, but you could play it in 28.
See, if they released it as 15 mil, I'd probably actually be really interested.
I've not been paying any attention to this. How are they angling this? What?
I think it's like a retcon sort of thing, isn't it? They've realised they can make money out of it, can't they?
Just make money.
You make money out of it. Investors like that, don't they? So
So what is it? What is someone going to wake up and go, "Oh, at Age of Sigmar, it was all a dream"?
No, I think they're just going to run it like multiple timelines and multiple universes.
Yeah,
because they still run
before the end times. I think it's
because isn't Blood Bowl still set in the old world? There's still the Warhammer Fantasy role-playing game that's still set in the old world, because they actually got 2 role-playing games. You got the one that's set in the Age of Sigmar timeline or the old world timeline, and it's going to be set in the north of the Empire. Okay.
Yeah,
I thought the north of the Empire was the Chaos Wastes.
Yeah, I thought that as well. Yeah, that's
Dom, what's north of the Empire?
Just weird shit everywhere.
I like the west of the Empire. It's from Bretonian, isn't it?
I had
Yeah,
the
so
Bretonians, and I had them waiting patiently for a new army book for 16 years that never came, and then I sold them all.
The best way to think about it is it's basically a map of Europe: Germany, Italy, France, Scandinavia.
Tomb Kings or the Vampire Counts would interest me. I think
My mate's still one of my friends. He's actually just come back. He's from abroad, and he has a full Tomb Kings army from, I think it's like 4th edition. He's still got like the whole. Yes, I know. I was trying to convince him to just give it to me because he clearly wasn't going to take it back abroad with him, but that didn't fly.
He knows that's basically a mortgage down payment. Some of those models sell for ridiculous amounts of money.
I sold my Bretonian, the Grail Pilgrims. They're carrying along the the dead knight on his dead horse, and you've got all the pilgrims around him. I had that whole thing, and I never got around to actually building it. So I had 20 metal pilgrims and that whole set. I sold that, and it went on eBay for about 140 quid.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
That was when I realised that was the first model I ever sold on eBay, and I realised there's money to be made here. So all my old GW models, I stripped the paint off them, and then I got rid of them one by one.
Yeah.
Does anyone remember the Dogs of War release from Warhammer?
I've got some, didn't I? Sean sent me them. I've painted some. I've got the knights down there painted. I've got a couple on my painting desk at the minute. Victory's Knights or whatever they're called. These ones. Oh, let me grab them. These ones, Steve, if you can.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, sure. Tim's got 20 boxes of them somewhere in his loft. But yeah, those knights, they're part of the Dogs of War. Yeah, they're very cool. Oh look, I keep meaning to get. I'm waiting for it to come on sale. Total War 3.
Oh right, yeah.
So yeah, I'm waiting for that.
I know you shouldn't laugh at this, but it's a good comment from Matt. So I wonder if that enthusiast that burnt his elf army on YouTube now regrets his actions. I imagine he would, because that was one of the most, I don't know, comedic or tragic things I've ever seen in my life.
What?
When he raged out.
Yeah, when they said that there's going to be no more old Warhammer, it's going to be Age of Sigmar, he burnt an entire army.
Wow.
Well, all I can say is what a knobhead. I have no idea about any of it, but you'd never burn an army, for God's sake, stupid person.
No. I can't think of any scenario, no matter how crap my dice rolling was, when I would even contemplate setting fire to an army.
I burned someone else's.
Oh, yeah.
I could do that, yeah.
Obviously.
What's that? 12 French drummers? Let me get the kerosene.
I'll tell you what would be even more satisfying, Steve. You could just put them in bitumen and just watch them melt slowly.
But why?
Because I've got a tub of bitumen.
That's really quite rude. Yes.
Wow.
I think lots of people have blown up fixed models.
Oh yeah, that's different as well, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. As a kid, putting a banger in the back of one.
Oh,
yes.
I just remembered. Remembered. Sorry, there is one other announcement I completely forgot. Dice.
Dice.
Sorry.
What, these beautiful things.
The PCP dice, yeah. If you would like a set of 6 of the PCP dice, because I know there are people who saw the ones that we posted from CrackCon, I put up a post in the Facebook group. If you could go on there and basically say you're interested, although to be honest, I've been on there and I think there's enough people that we can actually do an order. So what I'll do is I'll open up. You'll need to email the theplasticcrackpodcast@gmail.com to pre-order them. The cost is, it's going to be the same. The dice are going to be the same cost as they were for CrackCon, which is £7.50 for 6. But obviously we're going to be mailing these out. So it's just going to be a flat £1.50 postage and packaging charge on top of that. So £9 and for the PCP dice. And there will be international shipping. If you get in touch when you order, just let us know where you are and I'll calculate what the shipping will be.
Or if you come in for CrackCon 3 and want to wait that long, then you can.
But there'll be different colours. There'll be different colours.
New dice for that.
Yes.
There'll be new dice for that.
Oh,
So we shall see. But so what we'll do, we'll open up the orders for the dice, and then there'll be a cut-off date. So if you want them, you have to pre-order them by a certain date. Then it's cut off. They'll be manufactured and then they'll be sent out to everyone. We did see someone asking about dice trays. There were no dice trays left over because the dice trays never got made. That is something that we will be looking into to get them made. Andy Shaw has said, "Will they be blue?" No, the first ones were blue, and these ones were red. So it'll be a different color for the next ones. But let us know. I'll put it up on the post. But I think there's already been about 8 people who are interested, so that's definitely enough to warrant another run.
He filled his Action Man with red sauce and shot him repeatedly with their rifle. I like that.
So I had there was like a stuffed toy from when I was a kid that I didn't like, and it was this stupid looking rabbit, and its head came off, and because I was an only child, I basically kept on like hitting it with plastic swords, and I asked my dad if he'd stick a bit of Velcro on its head so I could hit its head off. There's worse than that. There's worse. I was an only child.
I think you were always destined to get into Wars of the Roses, weren't you, Martin?
Yeah, I think Martin.
I blame my mum and dad for a lot of what happened to me.
I still think he's a reincarnation of the Earl of Warwick, you know.
I wondered what you were going to say then. I really wondered what you were going to say.
Right, we're into 1 minute of overtime, you lucky people.
Goodness.
Yeah, Jesus. 2 minutes now, Steve.
2 minutes. So massive thank you to everyone that showed up tonight to have a bit of a chat with us about hobby stuff. Big thank you to everyone who catching this on the catch up. We always appreciate that. If you've not yet joined the Facebook group, why haven't you? Go across, answer Dom's questions 3, and ye shall be admitted. or something like that. Anyway,
something like that.
Yeah. Something like that. I'm not quite sure how it works. And again, just a big thank you for everyone for showing up. So next week we'll be on Dom's channel.
He will. And we'll have Ian from Flags of War. Will be with us.
Special guest time, and it'll be the anniversary of D-Day as well. So rather nice day.
It will be. If you've got any questions for Ian, then when Dom set up the stream, just pop them on there. If you want to know about the flags or the Border Reavers game or his other is it 7 Years War? It is, isn't it?
Austrian Succession.
War of Austrian Succession. Then pop them up on there as well.
Yeah, hit the like button as well. And
haven't
we got a Plastic Crack Podcast Instagram now?
Yeah, we have. We've got a Plastic Crack
Podcast. Hashtag PCP. Is that what we're doing?
I will find it and I'll pop a link to it in the Facebook group. Yeah, because I've got 2 accounts on my phone, so I have to find the right one. But yes, technical wizardry as always. Off to buy Amazon fancy tools. I'm off to the Two Fat Lardies website to buy Sharp Practice. That's me.
Yeah, 20% off.
20% off.
Yeah,
should have mentioned that in the news. Yeah, is anyone interested in Two Fat Lardies merchandise and goods and products? Big Rich has kindly put a 20% discount to celebrate the week's Jubilee festivities.
Yep.
So head across to the Two Fat Lardies website to get your 20% discount.
And you guys have got hopefully most people have got a bank holiday, so we're expecting to see a lot of hobby goodness on the pictures in the Facebook group ready for next week. So see some good things on there.
Don't forget, when you are painting, you can also go to the PCP playlist on Spotify for some quite eclectic music on there.
Extraordinary, that is. Just
do you know what? Just for the hell of it, I'm going to try and whack some Michael Bublé in there just to fuck you all up.
I think we're going to end when we're talking about Michael Bublé. It's time to end the show. So thanks everyone, and we shall see you all next week on Dom's channel. Take care. Have a good week, everyone.
Have a great weekend.
Bye.